Hello, students. Uh, my name is Saif Abdi, and I am associate professor with the School of Management, BBD University. I'll be taking you through the Unit 4 of Business Ethics for BBA third year. So let's look at the topics which we'll be covering in Unit 4. So basically, we have five major topics in Unit 4. First one is knowledge and wisdom. Then there is stress management. Then there is dharma and karma, or dharma and karma, as we say in Hindi. Then we have TQM, or total quality management. And then finally, we have quality of life. So we'll be covering all these five topics through the course of time, and we'll be discuss. In fact, I'll be giving you lectures on these five topics, and we'll take them one by one. So there will be around 7 to 8 lectures in which we will be covering Unit 4. So let's start today with knowledge and wisdom. So basic knowledge and wisdom are the two qualities we all aspire to gain in life. So basically, not people get confused, or they are not able to demarcate the line between knowledge and wisdom. Uh, they are interrelated for sure, but there is a marked difference between both of them. So, what is knowledge? Knowledge is basically facts, information, and skills acquired through education or learning. Okay, so knowledge is something we get through our parents. Knowledge is something which we get in our classroom, obviously. Knowledge is something which we acquire while surfing the internet, or sitting in a library, or something which we do, which we learn by doing it. So all these things are, so it is facts, information, and skills acquired through learning or education. Now, then what is wisdom? Wisdom is the quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. So basically, wisdom is nothing but application or sensible application of the knowledge. So that is wisdom. So many people have knowledge, but they do not have the wisdom to use that knowledge properly. So that is the difference between knowledge and wisdom. So again, we look at knowledge. So if it says that it is understanding something specifically about a particular subject, having awareness of facts or truth, and knowledge is something which can be known, or it is an information, whereas wisdom is a state of being wise, the ability to use knowledge or experience intelligently, capability of determining what is wise versus what is unwise, and uh, a philosophy or other advice that is considered wise. So, a very good example of knowledge and wisdom is that uh, if we go back around 70 or 80 years back during the Second World War, uh, when the World War was going on, and United States of America, as we all know, bombarded Hiroshima and Nagasaki of Japan with with atom bombs. What happened? There was devastation, and it brought an end to the Second World War. But was it wise on the part of United States of America to use atomic bombs uh, and drop it on a country uh, and make such a devastating, which made such a devastating effect? So knowledge was that they had the knowledge of how to make atomic bombs and uh, how to use them. But as per me, the wisdom was not there that to not to use those atomic bombs, which will create a havoc in the country, by because of which they are reeling. They have those effects on the generation. Still, they have effects on the generation which are being born. So that is how you understand knowledge or wisdom. So again, I will stress that knowledge is something, some information or some facts and figures which you know, but wisdom is how you are using it wisely. So using it wisely means that you are using for your benefit or the benefit of the society as a whole, or bringing in some kind of positivity. That is wisdom. Now let's look into knowledge in detail. So we'll just see whatever we have seen in the previous slides. We will look at it into detail. So basically, it says that knowledge is familiarity, awareness, or understanding of someone or something, such as facts, information, description, or skills, which is acquired through experience or education by perceiving, discovering, or learning. Knowledge can refer to a theoretical or practical understanding of a subject. Knowledge refers to facts, information, and skills acquired through learning and education. Knowing and understanding a specific subject and being aware of certain ideas. Subjects can be defined as knowledge. We acquire knowledge through learning, education, and training. And knowledge can refer to both theoretical and practical aspects of a subject. Then the end result of this learning process is acquiring new knowledge. Knowledge about specific subjects, topics, or essentials in everyday life. Okay, so here few things which should be kept in mind is that knowledge can be both theoretical and practical. So it's not that you will always gain knowledge through books or through attending classes. It can be practical also. So for example, a scooter mechanic, most of the time he doesn't read the book of how to repair a scooter or how to repair a bike or how to repair a car. He gains that knowledge by practically working under someone, and he gains that knowledge through practical work. Even a small job like uh, uh, doing a puncture of a tire, that also there is no the puncture man never reads the book or something. He acquires that knowledge practically by working on a puncture shop. So likewise, there are various actors. So, and if we go to a hand, for example, a pilot of a airline or a pilot in Indian Air Force, they acquire knowledge both by uh, theoretical and by practical means. So, as I said, so no matter how high end the job is or how low end the job is, the you gain knowledge for all the things you have to do. You have to gain knowledge, and it can be uh, both theoretical and practical. So this is something which we should keep in mind. Now, wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to recognize or judge what is true, right, or lasting. Wisdom consists of knowledge, experience, and good judgment. A person cannot have wisdom without having knowledge, but being knowledgeable about something does not necessarily indicate wisdom. Wisdom can also refer to the application of knowledge you have. For example, you may know how to use a weapon, but wisdom knows when to use it. Wisdom cannot be simply acquired through learning or education. One needs experience as well as sound judgment to gain wisdom. So basically, three things, uh, three keywords for wisdom is that you need to have knowledge, you need experience, and you need to have a sound judgment. So judgment to be aware that what is wrong, what is right. Knowledge, obviously, without knowledge, wisdom is not possible. And experience, because through experience, you learn a lot of things, and then you are able to make a judgment uh, to uh, to be a person with a wisdom. So three things, as I said: knowledge, experience, and good judgment. So all these things are part of being a wise person or wisdom. So as I said, so for example, if we look at an example, so, for example, a car mechanic, he has the knowledge of fixing the brakes of the car. But if he does, somebody comes up to him and he says that, okay, remove the brakes of this car. So if he just has knowledge, what he'll do is that he will, by his knowledge, he will remove the brakes of the car. But if he has experience and the sound judgment, he will know that by removing the, if he removes the brakes of the car will definitely, when the person will drive it, the car will meet with an accident. So a wise mechanic will never ever remove the brakes of the car, because he knows how to use his knowledge through sound judgment and through experience. But a person with only knowledge, and if he is not wise, he will remove the brakes of the car. So that is what the difference lies between knowledge and wisdom. So here are few other things given in description of how knowledge and wisdom are different. So again, it says that knowledge refers to information, understanding, and skills that you gain through education or experience. It refers to hard facts and the data that can be available to anyone if he has the right resources. Okay, so for example, you have practical, medical, or scientific knowledge, or for example, an accountant has the knowledge of taxation, a doctor has medical knowledge, a technician has knowledge of the technical aspects of his job, a teacher or a faculty has a knowledge about his subjects. So this is knowledge. Now, the wisdom, on the other hand, refers to the ability to make sensible decisions and give good advice because of the experience and knowledge he has. Someone may have all the knowledge about a subject but may not have the wisdom to utilize their knowledge properly to be able to act in a sensible manner. That is why they say you can gain knowledge by educating yourself, but you can gain wisdom only by experience. So, so that's why in this example, it's saying that see, for example, by experience, when you have both knowledge and experience, then you have wisdom. So that's why we see that. The people who are older than us, our fathers, our parents, or the senior citizens, they will, by having experience and the knowledge they have, they normally we go to older people for any advice. Why? Because they have both knowledge and experience. For example, if I want to make a decision in my life about something, I can go and search books, I can go and search the internet, I'll get a hell lot of information. But to make a decision, I should go to a person from my field who has experience as well, because all the books and all the data available on internet will not have the experience. The experience will only come with the older people of, say if it's a professional decision, so it will come from some of a person who is from my profession, and he has 20 to 25 years of experience or 15 years of experience. He will be able to guide me properly, and that is called as wisdom. So knowledge plus experience plus ability to make a sound judgment, that is wisdom. Again, only knowledge and experience does not necessarily mean that the person is wise. The ability to make a sound judgment makes you wise. So again, so for example, when I had quoted the example of Hiroshima Nagasaki, the World War II scenario, the people, the American president, the heads of the army and air force, they were people with knowledge as well as experience, but they did not have the ability to make a sound decision. That's why Hiroshima Nagasaki happened. Or for example, any terrorist activity, if you see the 9/11 or 26/11 in Mumbai, they had the knowledge of how to use the gun, how to use the explosives, and how to enter India, or how to drive the plane in case of 9/11. They had the experience also, but they did not had the ability to make a sound judgment. So that is the, so they were not wise in spite of having knowledge and experience. Now we look at few examples of how knowledge versus wisdom works. So knowledge is knowing how to manage your money, budgeting, spending, and saving, whereas wisdom understands how money impacts the quality of your life and your future. Then knowledge is learning how to paint and using that skill to cultivate livelihood. Whereas wisdom is expressing your passion through painting and understanding that art is a form of communication that touches the lives of others. Then knowledge knows which things, practices, people, and pleasures make you happy. Wisdom is that while those things may bring you pleasure, happiness is not derived from things or situation or people. It understands that happiness comes from within and that it's a temporary state of mind. Similarly, knowledge is composed of facts, information, and skills, whereas wisdom is composed of knowledge, experience, and good judgment. Knowledge gives you ability to identify whether some fact is true or false. Wisdom gives you the ability to discern whether some idea is right or wrong. Like in the case of, we have I just quoted the terrorist activities and Hiroshima Nagasaki, and there are n number of cases which you will find around you. Knowledge is the acquisition of information and facts. Wisdom is the application of acquired knowledge. So knowledge is something which you know. So which can be information and fact. But how you will apply that knowledge, that information is wisdom. Knowledge can be simply acquired through education. Wisdom cannot be simply acquired through learning. Wisdom will only come through experience and your sense of judgment. And that also comes through experience. So, knowledge, for example, is with the students. So, when the student uh, goes in a lecture, he sees the faculty or the teacher teaching that subject. Then he goes into the books and all these things. He gains knowledge, but does he have the wisdom? In most cases, no. The wisdom is with the teacher because he has been teaching that subject for long. He has the experience and he knows how to use that knowledge. So that is the judgment. So these were the few examples of how knowledge and wisdom are different in any organization. We will see that what are knowledge workers and what are wisdom workers. We can find both kind of workers in any organization. So we'll take a look at them one by one. So first of all, the knowledge workers. So the knowledge worker, this term was coined by Peter Drucker uh, in the Landmarks of Tomorrow in the year 1959. He suggested that the most valuable asset of a 21st century institution, whether business or non-business, will be its knowledge workers and their productivity. A knowledge worker is anyone who works for a living at the task of developing or using knowledge. For example, a knowledge worker might be someone who works at any of the tasks of planning, acquiring, searching, analyzing, organizing, storing, programming, distributing, marketing, or in any manner contributing to the transformation and commerce of information. And those who work at using the knowledge so produced. Sorry. So let's look at a few other examples. So basically, knowledge worker is a worker whose main capital is knowledge. So it can be a software engineer, it can be a doctor, it can be an engineer, he can be a scientist, he can be an accountant, he can be a lawyer, or he can be an academician, he can be a research fellow or pharmacist or any these kind of jobs. So basically their job is to think for a living. Also, knowledge work can be differentiated from other form of work by its emphasis on non-routine problem solving that requires a combination of convergent, divergent, and creative thinking. But despite the amount of research and literature on knowledge work, there is no sufficient definition of the term. So there has been lot of research done on the knowledge worker, and there has been a lot of literature written on the knowledge worker, but there isn't a proper definition for the term knowledge work or knowledge worker. But you can understand that what a knowledge worker is. So basically, a knowledge worker is, I'll just repeat that a knowledge worker is that a worker who uses his knowledge for work or whose main capital is knowledge. So, like a doctor uses his knowledge for curing people or for doing surgery, a, a academician like a teacher or a lecturer uses his her knowledge to teach students. An engineer, a civil engineer, will use his knowledge to construct a bridge or maybe construct a building. Likewise, a pharmacist will use his knowledge to sell medicines or make medicines. A lawyer will use his knowledge to for legal cases, maybe fighting a legal case or drafting a legal document. Likewise, an accountant will use his knowledge to make a balance sheet or file an income tax return. So these are all knowledge workers. Now, the knowledge workers bring benefit to the organization in a variety of ways. So few are listed over here, as you can see, like analyzing data to establish relationships. So this is the work of a business analyst. Assessing input in order to evaluate complex or conflicting priorities, identifying and understanding trends, making connections, understanding cause and effect, ability to brainstorm thinking broadly, ability to drill down, creating more focus, producing a new capability, creating a creating or modifying a strategy. So these are these. This is how a knowledge worker brings in benefit to the organization. So if we look at few like producing a new capability, this can be done by a scientist or a research fellow or a doctor or even an engineer. So this is also maybe they are working on a project, there is some product or something, so there are say a few uses of that product, but a researcher or a scientist may bring in further new capability in that product. Then uh, identifying and understanding trends. So this is again the job of a business analyst. So they basically analyze the situation, what is the trend. This can also be of someone who is working in a share market, maybe a financial advisor uh, can do this type of things, looking at the share market and identifying the trends, what are happening, which share is going up, which share is going down, why this is going up, why a certain share is going down. So all these kind of things. So that's how they bring benefit to the organization. Now, a wisdom worker. Wisdom, this is a bit complex. So basically, a wisdom worker has a deep insight into how and why of things. So basically, they look at how things are happening and why it is happening. A wisdom worker has the vision, right perspective, intuitive skills, and the power to transform. A wisdom worker is basically a visionary and has a long term view. Now, this is a new class of worker which is beginning to emerge, and it is superseding the knowledge worker. Now, this group of wisdom worker is distinguished not only by their ability to think with reason, but also with creativity, intuition, and emotional intelligence. They possess an amalgam of skills and dimensions that define human exceptionalism and wisdom. In a word, as the most esteemed human quality. That is basically the best term which is suited uh, to the wisdom worker. Now, why we are not using creative worker as against wisdom worker? Uh, because we want to use all the dimensions of human ability. That's why we are not using a term as creative worker or imaginative worker, because we want to cover all the aspects of human ability. That's why we have used wisdom worker, the term wisdom worker. Now, let's look at how knowledge management is done and how wisdom management is done. What is the difference? We are putting knowledge management against wisdom management. Now, knowledge management is the systematic management of an organization's knowledge assets for the purpose of creating value and meeting tactical and strategic requirements. It consists of the initiatives, processes, strategies, and systems that sustain and enhance the storage, assessment, sharing, refinement, and creation of knowledge. Knowledge management therefore implies a strong tie to the organizational goals and strategy, and it involves the management of knowledge that is useful for some purpose and which creates value for the organization. Knowledge management involves the understanding of where and in what form knowledge exists, what organization needs to know, how to promote a culture of conducive learning, sharing, and knowledge creation, how to make the right knowledge available to the right people at the right time, how to best generate or acquire new relevant knowledge, how to manage all these factors as to enhance performance in the light of organization strategic goals and short-term opportunities and threats. Knowledge management also provides right tool, people, knowledge, structures, like teams, culture, etc., so as to enhance learning. It must understand the value and applications of the new knowledge created. It must store this knowledge and make it readily available for the right people at the right time. And it must continuously assess, apply, refine, and remove organizational knowledge in conjunction with concrete long and short term factors. So this was knowledge management. Now, what is wisdom management? Wisdom management is nothing but manage collective wisdom which gains more knowledge that create more wisdom. Understanding of wisdom in the data, information, knowledge, and wisdom spectrum is that wisdom is the application of knowledge to solve practical problems in the daily life. Wisdom as the result of life experience as or knowledge transcendence. It should be seen like the result of life experience or knowledge transcendence. Wisdom comes from making mistakes and learning from them, or also from others' mistakes. And so knowledge comes before wisdom, and wisdom uses knowledge. Then knowledge is the result of lessons we learn by exploitation of our wisdom. Less knowledge means less factual wisdom, as wisdom encourages to keep on gathering knowledge. Knowledge without wisdom creates catastrophe. When it creates wisdom, which gains more knowledge, that creates more wisdom. So basically, uh, wisdom and knowledge both run parallelly, and they both need support of each other. You cannot have wisdom without knowledge, and just knowledge without wisdom will be a catastrophe. So you need to have both. It's not that okay, wisdom is all alone. No, wisdom only develops once you have the first step towards wisdom is you have to have the knowledge. Then with practical experience, with mistakes, and through all the experience you have in life, or you learn from your mistakes, from others' mistake, you tend to gain wisdom. And that too only when you are trying to learn. If you are not learning from your mistakes or others mistake, then you or by experience you will never gain wisdom. So students, this was all about knowledge worker and wisdom worker, and knowledge management versus wisdom management. So this will be all for today. Until the next lecture, thank you. Have a nice day.